Welcome to this week's Behind the Poem. I am going to share a poem I totally forgot I wrote. I found it today while going to my folder of new poems, which are now poems I think that range from 2020 onward, new poems. Just now it's like new poems 2021, new poems 2022, 3, 4. I'm fairly certain I wrote this in 2020. It was based on a conversation I had with my grandmother, who is now 99 years young. And since I started performing my poetry in college, I've been writing poetry since I was a kid. And my grandmother has been seeing me perform. She would often say, "When are you going to write about joy? When are you going to write something happy?" And it wasn't that she didn't support my work about heavier topics. She has been unwaveringly supportive of my work. I'm so grateful and moved. But she wanted more joy. And so we had a conversation, according to this document of this poem, where I interviewed her about what brought her joy. And then from that conversation, I wrote this poem, and it's called, when it pops up on my screen, A Poem About Joy, for Nana. And before I'll read it, before I read it, I'll say one more thing, which is that it's like I don't want to do a poem about joy. There's horrible stuff happening. I'm devastated. I continue to be devastated by what is happening in the world. I've been so entrenched in what's happening in Palestine and Israel that I admittedly missed the extent to which anti-trans legislation is being passed around the country, and I'm fearing for a lot of people's lives. I feel like I don't even have time to fear for my own. And then there are moments when like something happens and like my own fear instincts kick in, but I seem to be in a body, in a space, in a place where I can cultivate that joy. And yet I know that joy is a tool of resilience, and I am moved by all the joy I see folks sharing, no matter where they are in the world, be it a war zone or displaced or fearing for their bodies and their lives. So I share about joy today, not naively, but as a deliberate act of resilience. A poem about joy, for Nana. The snow cascades outside my window, tickling the sky. My neck, held loose by the blue and white scarf my mother gave me some season I cannot even begin to recall. A candle on my altar, a lukewarm cup of tea from Gabby, the large dark green tumbler from Rebecca, water half filled. I've always been an optimist, even in the dark. Tinctures of time coursing through the uncharted throughways of my veins, like an abacus marking divine sense. Bead by bead, I feel my ancestors. Confirmation, I am tapped into the source of the divine. There must be hope out there somewhere, my Nana tells me, asking for a little bit of joy. Maybe you can find some for all of us, she says. I wouldn't be a good journalist if I didn't tell you that as I read that poem, I realized it is definitely not from 2020, because Gabby sent me that tea the first time I had COVID in early 2021. Rebecca gave me that tumbler at some point in either late 2020, early 2021. And I didn't have an altar set up until fall 2020. So now we know this poem comes from early 2021. I wish you joy, resilience, and healing, and livelihood, and joy. Take care.